Hi, my name's Alex and I'm here with the young Barbican reviewers mixing three of my favourite things. Reviewing cinema about punk rock. Because today, I'm reviewing Remembering CBGBs, a triple bill of films kicking off the Grime and the Glamour season here at the Barbican. CBGBs was a punk rock and new wave club in the East Village of Manhattan that came to fame in the mid-70s and was known for nurturing bands that went on to become icons in the punk scene. The three films featured in Remembering CBGBs, Blackened Generation, Seoul City and Punking Out, all show what it was like to be part of CBGBs, whether performing on stage or enjoying the bands from the bar. But watch closely and you'll realise that these films have been carefully chosen to explore what punk really means. The films show the effect that CBGBs and the music performed there had on people, had on artists, musicians and soon-to-be fans alike. The evening began with The Blackened Generation, directed by Ivan Kral and Amos Poe. Together, in making this film, they helped bring about the style of no wave, also known as cinema of transgression, a style seen throughout The Blackened Generation and epitomises what it is to be punk. The film is made up of live footage of various punk bands performing, such as the Ramones, Patti Smith, Blondie, Television and The Shirts. And this footage is stitched together with separate recording, which has a very jarring effect. Because what's happening on screen doesn't match up with what's happening in the audio, you are very aware that you're watching a film, and it prevents you from feeling as if you are there with them in CBGBs. What's more is that there are no cards to explain who the bands are or what they're performing. And considering not everyone will know these things, it can become very confusing. However, to say these things is to critique it as a documentary, and that's not what this is. The directors intended this to be a compilation of their memories of CBGBs, and that comes across really well. This idea is furthered by the film's occasional deviation from showing live performances. For example, there's a sequence when the band Blondie is having a photo shoot, and you can just see them messing around and smiling, and it just makes you feel really happy because there's something timeless about watching a group of friends having fun that makes you feel nostalgic and happy, which maybe the rest of the film doesn't specifically capture. But there are brief moments when it does really work, and you can't help but smile at your own memories that are evoked through seeing someone else's. Up next we have the deceptively short Seoul City, directed by M. Henry Jones. Although only 2 minutes and 22 seconds long, this music video featuring the Fleshtones took 2 years to create due to the director's signature style of stop motion paired with stroboscopic coloured backgrounds. 1,700 stills of the Fleshtones performing had to be hand-cut and hand-coloured before being reassembled and recorded into what we see on the screen. The use of stop motion on real-life figures has the strange effect of blurring your ideas of reality. Your brain struggles with the idea that you're seeing pictures and not people in an incredibly playful way. This, partnered with the strobing coloured backgrounds emulating a modern-day nightclub, makes you feel suddenly very alive. It's the feeling of seeing your favourite band perform in concert. Your heart races to keep up with the beat of the drums, and it's over just as quickly as it began, and you can't help but smile at it all. And the evening was nicely rounded off with Punking Out, directed by Maggie Carson, Julius Kosakowski and Rick Shaw. As the first image projected began expanding to fill the screen, the Blackened Generation playing in the background, it was very clear to see what this film was trying to do and how it tied into the rest of the films. The performances were done with such vigour that you couldn't help but feel excited about it, almost as if you were there. Punking Out, unlike the Blackened Generation, had different cards come up to tell you who was playing and what was happening. Although you may say this deviates from the no-wave style the rest of the film tries to emulate, it's clear that the directors wanted there to be no doubts about who was playing, especially as none of them were very well known at the time. Only now have they become punk icons. The majority of the film is made up of behind-the-scenes interviews with bands and fans alike. But what this film does really well is that they leave them in their natural habitats. The Ramones tell you why they love playing so loudly just before they go on stage to do exactly that, whilst the Dead Boys show you what weird things have been thrown on stage during their performance just as they finished. And by interviewing them in these real situations, the intensity is lifted so much so that you really feel as if you're there with them. It almost feels as if you're holding the mic. The directors decided to inject a sense of dark humour into the film too. When the interviewer asks how the music makes them feel, one girl says, "It makes me feel alive," while the other says, "It made me want to kill my mother." And when asked if that was a good thing, she said yes, it was a good feeling. The film mimics the frantic high energy of punk itself and allows you to experience what it was like to be part of CBGBs. And since the club is now an American National Historical Building, the only way we are going to be able to experience it is through these films itself, and I think they do a pretty good job of it.